Have you ever heard of a fried chicken brand that's so famous people literally pack it in their suitcases on international flights? Well, that's Albaik for you. But this isn't really a story about chicken. It's about how two engineers who knew absolutely nothing about cooking ended up solving one of the biggest logistical puzzles on the planet. This is the story of how pure engineering, not some secret recipe, created a fast food legend. So let's get into it.
Okay, so just think about that question for a second. This was the massive, almost impossible problem the Saudi government was wrestling with every single year. During the Hajj pilgrimage, the holy site of Mina basically becomes a mega city overnight. And feeding everyone, yeah, that was a recurring nightmare.
And to really give you a sense of the scale here, we're talking about a population bigger than the city of Chicago, all packed into one small valley. I mean, just getting them all water is a huge challenge, let alone serving up hot, safe, and affordable food for every single person.
The situation was, frankly, a disaster. The traffic was so completely gridlocked that food trucks would show up hours, sometimes even days, late. And in that scorching 40 degrees Celsius heat, that's over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, the food would just spoil. The result? Widespread food poisoning, turning what should be a sacred journey into a massive health crisis. So, they needed a totally new idea. And you'd think they'd call some giant international catering company, right? Or a global food chain. Nope. They made a really surprising call. They reached out to the owners of a local chicken shop in Jeddah, a business that wasn't run by master chefs, but by two civil engineers. And right here, this is where the entire story flips. See, the secret to Albaik's success isn't hidden in some generations-old family recipe. It's built on the solid principles of structural engineering and systems design. You really got to understand the backstory here. Their father, the founder, tragically passed away very young, leaving his sons, Iksan and Rami Abu Ghazala, with a business that was deep in debt. They had a huge choice to make, either sell it off and cut their losses, or apply the one thing they actually knew, engineering, to a field they knew nothing about. Well, they chose engineering. And this really gets to the core of how they thought. A chef, right? They focus on the art, creating one perfect, unique dish. But these engineers, they were all about the science of creating a perfect, replicable system. To them, it wasn't a kitchen. It was a laboratory. It was a factory floor. So what did they do? Instead of rushing to open new shops, they locked themselves away for 3 whole years to perfect the product so it could be replicated perfectly. They developed this complex 18-herb spice blend and used industrial tech, like vacuum tumblers, to make sure every single piece of chicken was marinated exactly the same way. The goal wasn't just amazing taste, it was machine-like consistency. Okay, so all of this careful, systematic thinking, it was about to face the ultimate test. The year is 1998, and the phone rings. It's the government. The problem of feeding the pilgrims in Mina had hit a boiling point, and they needed Albaik's system. And they needed it now. And the pressure here was just immense. This was not some simple catering gig. As the government officials told them, this was about serving the guests of God. If they failed, it wouldn't just be a business failure. It would damage the reputation of the entire nation on the world stage. No pressure, right? So what was their big solution? They didn't just set up a few big tents. No, they applied their engineering brains and they built something the world had never seen before. A gigantic, hyper-efficient, temporary food production facility that they called the Kitchen Factory. And this is where you see their genius at work. It was like a symphony of systems. The logistics for hundreds of trucks were timed down to the second. The cooking was all automated, controlled by computers to eliminate human error. The serving lines were designed like a human assembly line to keep massive crowds moving smoothly, and a digital inventory system tracked every single piece of chicken. And the result of this incredible system? The Kitchen Factory could handle up to 1,000 transactions per minute. Just let that sink in. 1,000 orders a minute. That's a level of efficiency that most global fast food giants can only dream of. The success in Mina was absolute. The pilgrims got their food, it was safe, it was fast, and it was affordable. But this huge win had this extraordinary side effect, something the brothers had never, ever planned for. See those 3 million pilgrims? They came from over 180 different countries. And when they went home, they took a story with them. The story of this amazing, affordable chicken that solved the food crisis at Hajj. So, with a $0 marketing budget, Albaik suddenly had millions of brand ambassadors telling their story all over the globe. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that the real magic of Albaik isn't that 18-herb spice blend. The real secret ingredient is the incredibly robust, efficient, and scalable system that the Abu Ghazala brothers built from the ground up. Now, there's a business term for what they did. It's called vertical integration. It sounds a little fancy, but all it means is that they control pretty much everything. Unlike other chains that rely on tons of different suppliers and franchisees, Albaik keeps it all in-house, and that gives them total control over two things: quality and cost.
Think about it. They own their own logistics, their own spice factory, their own processing centers, and because of their word-of-mouth fame, they spend almost nothing on marketing. They've just eliminated dozens of costs that their competitors have to deal with, which lets them keep prices unbelievably low. This cost advantage is so powerful that it's actually created a phenomenon in the Saudi market they call the Albaik effect. When a new Albaik opens up, all the nearby competitors know they have to immediately slash their prices or they're going to lose all their customers. That's real market power.
And just to put their efficiency into one final crazy perspective for you, check this out. The sales volume from a single Albaik restaurant is estimated to be the same as 20 to 30 KFC outlets combined. I mean, they're just playing a completely different game.
You know, a lot of people attribute Albaik's success to a kind of blessing, or barakah. And it's true, the company is famous for its charity work. But as we've seen, that blessing is built on a rock-solid foundation of brilliant, hardcore systems engineering. It's just a great reminder that sometimes the most groundbreaking solutions come from looking at an old problem through a completely new lens.